In the previous video, we have introduced how to write a Hello World program on a GPU. However, the Hello World program is not yet very useful since it has only one thread. When we write a GPU program, we want the program to have a large number of threads so that the threads can run in parallel. So in this video, we will introduce the basic concepts of parallel programming with HIP. Especially we introduce the concepts of threads, blocks, and grids. Let's review the concept of a CPU thread. A thread is created by a process. Every time we open an application, the operating system creates a process and a thread that handles all the tasks of the application. For example, if we start a new program on our computer, such as opening an application like Microsoft PowerPoint, a process is started. That process creates a thread in our system. Each thread is executing an instance of the code that is written by the programmers, while the data that is owned by the threads may be different. Now let's talk about the use of a thread. Threads play a vital role in the computing, allowing the processor to perform multiple tasks at the same time, making the tasks faster. It also makes the computer capable of multitasking. On a system with multiple processors or CPU cores, each thread in the process can run concurrently on a separate processor, resulting in parallel execution. So how to write a program for the CPU? This code is an example from the previous unit. As you can see, this function defines how each single thread is executed. But different threads executing this program may have different behaviors because they have received different input data. Similarly, when we write a GPU program, we only define the behavior of a single thread but allow the GPU threads to have different behaviors according to the input data. To utilize the massive number of cores on a GPU, kernels are organized as a large number of threads. The GPU is designed to execute each kernel as thousands or even millions of threads. Moreover, in order to organize the threads and map the threads to GPU hardware, HIP employs a hierarchy of threads. There are 4 levels in the hierarchy which we will discuss now. At the lowest level of the hierarchy, we have individual threads. Each thread has its own set of registers when mapped to GPU cores. All the threads in a kernel uses the same number of registers, but the registers of different threads stores different values. In the next level of hierarchy, we have verbs. Note that sometimes threads are also called work items and verbs are also called wavefronts, following the OpenCL terminology. In HIP, groups of threads with consecutive thread indexes are bundled into verbs. Threads within one verb are executed in a block-stepped fashion, which means all the threads in a verb must execute the same instruction at one time. One verb contains up to 64 threads. In general, the verb is a level that is mostly transparent to programmers. Programmers typically only cares about verbs when fine-tuning the program performance. Blocks or work groups, which are 2 terms for the same thing, are on the next level of the hierarchy. Sets of verbs are grouped into blocks. When the kernel is launched, the blocks get mapped onto the compute units of the GPU. Here you can consider a computing unit as a core of the GPU. One block is mapped to one compute unit, but a compute unit can hold more than one block. One block typically contains up to 16 verbs or 1024 threads, but this number varies from device to device. Programmers should consider compatibility issues when using blocks with more than 256 threads. Blocks are the largest unit that the threads can communicate reliably. Threads within the same block can communicate with shared memory, which will be introduced in future videos. Threads from different blocks cannot synchronize or communicate. This is limited by the GPU hardware architecture, and we will introduce that in Unit 5. At the highest level of the hierarchy, we have grids, which are a collection of blocks. The entire kernel launch is executed as one grid which is mapped onto the entire GPU. In summary, threads are elements of verbs, verbs are elements of blocks, and blocks are elements of grids. A grid is an instance of a kernel execution. Each grid can be organized into either a one-dimensional, two-dimensional, or three-dimensional structure. In this example, the block structure is composed of 2 blocks in the x direction and 2 blocks in the y direction, giving us a total of 4 blocks in this grid. Similarly, threads in blocks are also organized in one-dimensional, two-dimensional, or three-dimensional structure. In the same example, let's consider the block 00. Each block is composed of 4 by 2 blocks with 4 threads in the x direction and 2 threads in the y direction, giving us a total of 8 threads per block. We have a total of 32 threads in the grid in this specific example. In other words, when we launch this kernel corresponding to this grid, there are a total of 32 threads that will execute on the GPU concurrently. Threads need to know their indexes to perform actions accordingly. Before we go deeper into thread indexing, let's take a look at some of the built-in variables in HIP. The built-in variables like blockindex.x, blockindex.y, and blockindex.z return the block IDs in the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis of the block that is executing the given block of code. For example, block 01 means the value of blockindex.x is equals to 0, which is the block ID in the x-axis, and the value of blockindex.y is equals to 1, which is the block ID in the y-axis. Similarly, threadindex.x, threadindex.y, and threadindex.z are built-in variables that return the thread ID in the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis of the thread within the block. For instance, thread21 means the value of threadindex.x is equals to 2, which is the thread ID in the x-axis, and the value of threadindex.y is equals to 1, which is the thread ID in the y-axis. And blockdimension.x, blockdimension.y, and blockdimension.z are the built-in variables that return the block dimensions, that is the number of threads in a block in the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. So we can express the blocks and threads in a block as a 1D array, 2D array, or a 3D array. This can be helpful while working with 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional arrays. Now let's discuss the thread's global indexing using these built-in variables. Here the global thread ID I of type integer defines a unique ID among all threads in a 1-dimensional grid. Let us assume a hypothetical ID grid and ID block architecture consisting of 4 blocks each with 4 threads. Since there are blocks with 4 threads in this hypothetical example, the value of block dimension.x is 4 in this case. Then the block index specifies which block the thread belongs to within the grid of blocks. Since there are 4 blocks in the grid, the value of blockindex.x can be any number from 0 to 3. Next, the threadindex.x specifies a local thread ID within a thread block. Since the number of threads in a block is 4, the value of threadindex.x can be any number from 0 to 3 as well. Now considering this hypothetical ID grid and ID block architecture, let's take a look at how the global thread ID is calculated. For the global thread ID 13, the value of the dimension of the block, that is the value of block dimension.x, is 4, as the number of threads in each block is 4. The index of the block, that is the value of blockindex.x, is 3, and the local thread ID, that is the threadindex.x, is 1, as we can see in the illustration. So we can get 4 multiplied by 3 added to 1. After the calculation, the result gives us a value of 13. Similarly, as threads can be organized in more than one dimension, multi-dimensional global ID can be calculated in a similar way. Here we are implementing the same hypothetical ID grid and ID block architecture with 4 blocks each having 4 threads on the hello program used before. Instead of using 1 and 1 as the configuration for the kernel call, we are using 4 and 4 as the number of blocks and threads. Upon compiling and running the program, the output as shown on the right screenshot is obtained. It prints 15 threads starting from 0 to 15. In the upcoming video, we will cover how to transfer data between the CPU and GPU using the HIP runtime API.